Alta Mira has been in existence for over 30 years in supporting individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, risks, and delays, and their families to optimize quality of life. This video will highlight our experience working with one particularly amazing person, Miss Jennifer Coddington. Jenny received services from Alta Mira as a child, and as an adult, she volunteered with our organization and later moved into an employed position. She was a definite force at Alta Mira and was with us for 30 years before her recent passing. She inspired all of us to think outside of the box. We wanted to share her story in hopes of inspiring those with a disability to be comfortable and confident in seeking employment. We also hope to encourage our business community to realize the benefits and importance of hiring a person with a disability. We have come a long way to be an inclusive community, but I know we can work for more advocacy. Jenny is a shining example, and this is her story.
On a sunny Saturday, Jenny's garden was built to commemorate the life of Miss Jennifer Jo Coddington and her 30 years with Alta Mira family. Her life was filled with challenges from the moment she was born. Her inner strength, her ability to overcome, and desire to advocate were undeniable. She loved her work at Alta Mira and the sense of accomplishment it gave her. Little did she realize the effect she had on our staff, reminding us why we do this, while giving families around her hope and inspiration. This is her story.
My friend, my teacher, my assignment, my example, my cause, my love, my funny, precious, smart, beautiful, godly example, my baby daughter. I never did anything bad enough to deserve Jenny, and I never did anything good enough to deserve Jenny. I said, but she was given to me by God as a challenge to make me into the person that He wanted me to become, and I would not have done so without her as my daughter.
Jennifer was born on, fittingly, Labor Day weekend, the Friday before Labor Day, at 11:04 in the morning at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. A day later, I guess, I got a call from Betty to come to the hospital. I didn't know anything about having a daughter with Down syndrome.
When I'd take Jenny into the doctor's office, the pediatric department at that big hospital in Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and people would be sitting around with their children, and I remember trying to say it, and at first it used to get stuck in my throat trying to say mongoloid child, because that's what we used to say, and that thing would really stick in my throat. And then the next time it was a little easier, and the next time, and finally I'd stop the postman. Guess what? I have a child with Down syndrome, and it was easier before the pride could come back, but at first it almost choked me, but it helping me to deal with reality.
One of the delights, I think, of having her as a daughter is that we didn't know where life was going to take us or what things were going to happen.
As it turned out, life in the Air Force took the Coddingtons to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where they found Alta Mira, a new network of support for Jenny. Jenny was invited to join the team as an employee, giving her a newfound sense of responsibility and freedom.
She loved having responsibility. It taught her responsibility, and it gave her a sense of freedom, that now she wasn't under our authority. She was doing things that everybody else did. She had a, quote, normal life.
She loved coming to work here, and she valued her job. She was very protective of it, and she wanted to do it every day. And when she couldn't come, she wasn't a happy woman.
She was an integral part of our team. She motivated us every day to do what we do and to do it well.
She very quickly learned everyone's name and used it frequently with the term gorgeous, handsome.
Gorgeous or high good looking.
Or any number of very nice adjectives to describe the person she was talking about.
She knew everybody's family and everybody's name and what day they were born, and she was a big part of what we do here.
And our families would be in with a lot of our early intervention folk, and they would immediately watch her and sometimes ask, does she work here? Oh, yeah, she's staff. She's getting paid for what she does, And you would see something kind of shift for them, like a sigh, or like, oh, wow, maybe my daughter, maybe my son can be getting a job when they're older.
Even though they worked in that field, they had never had to work with somebody like the people they minister to. And I say minister to because their jobs really is ministering to people. But having to work alongside of is another kind of education for them as well as for Jenny.
There was a time when Jenny's mother was having surgery and asked me to drive her to and from work. So I picked her up maybe 10 minutes after I had told her I would be there, and she was quite disturbed. And this led to the beginning of a lifelong history between Jennifer and I, because that very day I began to teach her the meaning of the word flexible. And that word was a key word for she and I for the rest of our working career together.
We want to raise their feeling of accomplishment and worth, personal worth. And that's what having a job does. It makes for better citizens. For if you feel important. Oh, and she loved voting. Oh my goodness, she wouldn't have missed an election for anything. And she loved voting for Hillary Clinton. Oh my goodness. My mama missed that one.
I want people to remember Jenny for the strong advocate that she was for herself. I think that was the thing she worked the hardest at doing, was making sure that she was accepted for who she was. And just wanted to be like everyone else.
I did not realize that she was so proficient at signing. Oh my gosh. When she signed that hymn for us, one-handed, when she was in the hospital, it just brought tears to my eyes.
Jennifer learned sign language from one of her speech therapists, and they worked on that together, and she caught on really quickly and loved it. So she began to sing hymns in church in sign language, and it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And there was a day when someone put on a hymn to play for her, and her left side was paralyzed, so she only had use of her right arm. But she laid in that bed and she began to sign and sing with one hand to that hymn, and we just were all struck. And it was just a moment in time that I will never forget.
You never give up hope, and you keep stimulation. Stimulation, whether it's books, reading, other kids, TV, stimulation from the parents. You don't know where they'll be. So don't give up hope and don't give up trying. In the meantime, enjoy your kid where they are with what they can do.
Everyone deserves a chance to fly.